seen him for years as Hollywood's bad guy on TV and in movies. Now, listen to him right here. Here's your host, the multi-talented Jasper Cole.
All right. Howdy, 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 and welcome to On the Set with Jasper Cole. This is your host, Jasper Cole, Hollywood's bad guy, coming to you live from Hollywood, California, in the historical Melrose Avenue district, right here in the heart of all the chaos and the wannabes. And speaking of chaos, give a big shout-out to my way too gay sidekick, Mr. Ralph Cole Jr. Yeah! Woo-hoo! Get the poppers and the tambourines and welcome.
Hello,
hey, Ralph.
Planet Eartha. Welcome. Hi, Jasper.
You are so gay that your feet are not even touching the floor right now.
I am that gay. And you know what I'm really excited about this week? I'd like to start the show off and let Planet Eartha know. I just found out yesterday that I have one of the biggest penises in Hollywood.
Oh, hold on. Oh, here we go. Woo!
Yeah! Thank you.
You know what? Then you're right up there with, who are the other ones? Apparently Liam Neeson is hung like a horse.
Liam Neeson,
Milton
I'm not
Berle.
sure about Harrison Ford. I always heard that Danny Kaye was well hung too. Well, look at my crotch, Jasper. I mean, do you doubt it?
Look at your what?
My crotch. I mean, it's huge.
No, listen, Ralph, there's certain things that's kind of like when a vampire can't look at a cross. It's the same thing. I can't.
I know. You want to look, but you just can't.
Well,
you're trying to avert your
because
eyes.
Hollywood's bisexual guy is Hollywood's bad bisexual guy. So just because I'm bisexual doesn't mean I want to buy that. Oh, righty.
Okay, well, maybe you should move to Dubai. Okay, work it out. I'm that clever.
Well, listen, speaking of bisexuals, we are sad to say that our entertainment dish with Dara, Zane Scully, will not be joining us tonight. She's not bisexual, by the way.
What, is she taking a vacation with her husband?
No, Dara has been runaway mommy, and she and the amazing Dr. Murray Zane are out in Palm Springs for a little getaway, and I am going to be happy to say I'm going to be joining them tomorrow night for dinner in Palm Springs. So.
Oh, excellent. Say hi to Murray for me. I haven't talked to him in a while.
I know. We got to get Murray to call back in on the show sometime soon, don't we?
Well, great. Since you didn't offend him yet and that he really liked our show, I think that would be a very good idea.
Well, I do want all the listeners to know that Dr. Murray Zane is a psychiatrist, and so this show is board certified, and it is approved by a psychiatrist, so anything I say and do has been approved by a trained psychiatrist. So,
oh, excellent. I know
for
Murray
all the haters who don't like what I say, go fuck yourself. Okay.
Okay, work it
out. And on that note, let's remind the haters and the lovers to follow us on Facebook at On the Set with Jasper Cole, Twitter, On the Set W Jasper, and we have our brand new website, onthesetwithjaspercole.com, that keeps you up to date with all that's going on with the show and with me and whatever. So, and Ralph, where can people find you as well?
I'm on Twitter at Ralph Cole Jr. Thank you, Jasper, for that plug. I would also like to tell Planet Eartha that today, October 19th, marks Spirit Day.
Yeah.
Wear purple if you can, if you haven't already, and it stands for anti-bullying, and it's a very, very important cause. As you heard Planet Eartha last week, Dara mentioned, her son went to school. They chose the color orange to signify the important date, and she gave us that horrific statistic that 160,000 children stay at home because they are, in fact, afraid to attend school. So let's just eradicate that.
Well, but, let's make, just to keep it lemonade out of lemons, at least for the ones staying home, that'll be a big boost for homeschooling your kids. So on the
that's
side,
absolutely true.
Yeah,
and it's
you can
supposed
homeschool.
to show you with the disintegration of schools and education and what goes on in these schools now, very well said. I'm sorry for the reason that they're staying home, but at least they're not going to be bullied at home.
Well, exactly. And so we give a big shout-out for that. Anti-bullying is my big platform as well, and I just want to say, so go on to all the Facebook pages and everything right now. Spirit Day is there and all the information, and hopefully people will get behind us. And speaking of getting behind, let's say a big thanks to our sponsors, Tyrone Artworks, Imagine That Productions, and Wayman Productions. And I want to give a very happy birthday wish to our own Dennis Tyrone, who had his birthday, and a shout-out to the Florida family and friends that are in town this week visiting Dennis, and has been here all week and back and forth to Palm Springs. So it's been really, really great fun to have everybody in town. So
that's so great. And Donna is Dennis's sister, Planet Eartha, and she's been having such a rip-roaring, raucous time. She really knows how to vacation. She's so wonderful and so supportive. So I'm very happy that she's been having so much.
Donna's one of those super fans in the best way in terms of Hollywood. She enjoys, they went to Ellen, they went to the doctors. She really enjoys going to tapings of all the shows and really likes doing it and being there and is excited, by it. So that's what's always great to see. And
it's people like Donna that make us subsist, Jasper, because all those shows you just mentioned would not have the popularity that they do if they didn't have devoted fans like Donna Tyrone.
Exactly. Well, I want to remind everyone, this is our Pop Culture Friday show, and we're really thrilled to have two really diverse guests, but just experts in their own field. First up, coming up at 6:15, we're going to have angelologist. He is an actor and an author, Mike Pingle. He really is a Charlie's Angels aficionado, and he has written books about Charlie's Angels. He's got Channel Surfing Charlie's Angels. He was also a former assistant to Farrah Fawcett. He has a new book coming out about Betty White and one about Linda Carter and Wonder Woman, and he is really, really a pop culture just expert, especially on the 70s, of television in the 70s, but he's been one of the biggest supporters of the whole Charlie's Angels franchise, and he's going to come on and just give us just the whole history of how he got into this. And I've actually known Mike for many, many years, and I'm so excited and proud of him, and we can talk about knowing each other and just how his success has happened. And then our last guest is the one and only Divalicious, two-time Emmy nominee, Alicia Minshew, Kendall Hart from All My Children, and she'll be joining us, calling in from New York City, where she has relocated with the amazing husband, Richie, and the beautiful daughter, Willow. And we're going to catch up, talk about her new indie film, Desires of the Heart, that she shot in Savannah, Georgia, a few months ago, and Lies I Told My Sister, another film she did before that, and just everything that's happening with her new agents and her new life in New York City.
Excellent.
And then to close out the show, Rants with Marcus Redmond will be back on, as always. We got to talk about the second presidential debate that happened this week. And, the election is closing in. We have one more debate on, I believe it's Monday, and then
you're right.
November 8th, here it comes. So just remind everyone, next Friday we are going to be doing a Best Of show, because I'm going to be taking off, heading out to Atlanta, Georgia, to start promoting the film Hansel and Gretel that's opening on January 8th, and also to visit our fan favorite, my mom, Martha Malcolm, and my dad, Charles Malcolm, and to see all the fans back in Georgia and all my friends. And so we'll be airing a Best Of show. And then back on November 2nd, we have the other Divalicious, Miss Denise Boutte, and a very, very special guest that we will announce later as we get closer to that date, who is also a return guest. But we've been so fortunate.
Listen, Jasper, while I get you another cup of coffee, I just wanted to just give a slight correction. The presidential debate is this Monday, October 22nd.
Yeah, but the election is November 8th.
It's November 6th.
6th. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob. And then, you know what? You're not just only gay, but you're very proficient, which is very good.
Well, I'm proficient. Well, speaking of, yes, I'm very proficient. Thank you. Well, I've
and
always
you have a
kept
big
you on
penis,
track. That's
apparently.
Jasper and I are yin and yang. And, Jasper has all the beauty, and I have all the secretarial skills.
I'm sorry, Jasper has the beauty?
Right,
wow.
yeah.
I thought we were Beauty and the Beast, and I would be the Beast.
Oh, okay. Well, that's so nice of you. I was trying to be generous, but I
thought it was more like ebony
I do
and
all
ivory.
the clerical stuff. I'm like our Miss Brooks.
You are.
So
You're like Agnes Gooch.
Oh God! And one of Dennis's relatives,
I'm Auntie Mame.
Her nickname. She was so cute.
Yeah, I'm Auntie Mame, and you're Agnes.
Okay, no, that's totally perfect.
So listen, because we don't have Dara here, and nobody can do entertainment like Dara. But one of the things that popped up in the news this week that I was kind of intrigued by is apparently Madonna and Sean Penn might be rekindling that romance. You know, they were married, 10, 15 years ago and divorced. So
exactly. Well, you know, they're boomeranging back together just like Rihanna and Chris Brown. I mean, sometimes it takes being apart to realize, you know what? I love that motherfucker.
Well, apparently at her concert this past week here in L.A. at Staples Center, I guess Sean was there and she sang a ballad to him and he mouthed "You're so hot" and whatever. I just said, just fuck her on stage. But I mean, Madonna's fierce and everything, but I don't know. Something about her vagina scares me.
Really? What about it? You think
it's kind of like the Venus flytrap. Like the Venus flytrap. I don't know. I don't know if it's like things fly out or it sucks you in and you don't get out. There's just something kind of...
It's kind of like American Horror Story.
It kind of is just a big old hot mess, And so I was surprised he'd want to get back in it after he got out. But I guess, I don't know. It seems like, he wanted a little of that. And then the other, speaking of going to reruns, Jennifer Aniston, as we all know, is happily engaged, and apparently she has remained close friends with Brad Pitt's mom and father, and in fact has invited Brad's mother to the wedding. And I guess the big question a lot of people have is it appropriate, do you think it's appropriate when you break up with someone to stay in touch with their family? Is that something that... And I guess my take on that is it all depends on how it makes your current partner feel, right?
Right. I mean, that is another sticky wicket because it's the same thing with best friends. If we're really good friends and then the friends break up, but you've made friends through that friendship, do you have to automatically drop all those friends now?
Yeah, because we've all been in that situation, right, where it's kind of like, I don't know, I always say there's probably like a grace period for all of that, where you need to have a certain amount of time before you can reassociate with those people again. Because what
would that grace period be, Jasper?
I guess my point would be I think everyone has to figure that out on their own, because I think I'm so how revengeful I am, Ralph. So
right,
I'll just
don't give Jasper a match if you've crossed him.
Fuck me over, and I'm ready for you to die the next minute. So. So that grace period for me might be 7 years, but for more sane people and more rational people, maybe they have a 3-month or 6-month or whatever.
So what are you saying? Jennifer is getting married again, and she invited the mother of Brad Pitt's mother?
Yeah, she's very close to Brad Pitt's mother, and so she is apparently has invited Brad's mom to her wedding to Justin, her new husband. Well,
I wonder how Brad and his mother get along, because that would be telling also. If they
I don't know, but Jennifer's not close to her own mom, and apparently she got very close to Brad's mom when they were married. So I don't know. I think you're right. I think you look at it just like you would, like you said, a friend, like a mutual friend. But it kind of gets a little sticky-wicky when it's family, right? And
the thing, Jasper, is now that we're learning in 2012 is there's so many rules that are no longer rules anymore. When everybody was growing up in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, you got married, you didn't have sex with anyone else, you didn't have sex before you got married, and all of that is just completely topsy-turvy now, with same-sex marriages, people living in 3-way relationships. There's just no rhyme or reason for anything. So like you said, it's a case-by-case situation, and whatever works for all the parties, then let it work.
Well, speaking of Brad Pitt, the other thing that was interesting in the news this week, I don't know if have you seen those Chanel for Men commercials? I guess a lot of how big stars will do like these commercials for other countries, but apparently it's a very bizarre just a bizarre, like it's almost like an actor's bad audition tape from the past that you don't really want to be released.
Right.
Because it's just bizarre, right? He's just kind of staring into space and doing this really overdramatic, melodramatic kind of soliloquy about cologne or something. But I guess when you look like Brad Pitt, you could just stand there and pee on the floor if you wanted, and it's okay.
Right, exactly. Well,
I mean,
I think moving on from that, I'd like to bring attention to Tyler Perry's new movie, Alex Cross, that opens today.
Hallelujah. Yes, everybody, listen. And you know what? What's amazing is James Patterson, who's the author of all the books and who created the character, was on the Today Show praising Tyler. And the movie has been testing so well that they've already signed Tyler to the sequel, and the movie just opened today.
Wow.
Yeah, and Matthew Fox, who is just unrecognizable from Lost and from Party of Five, he plays the villain in this movie. It really looks like a kick-ass film, and I'm really, really happy and proud for Tyler. It also got announced.
Absolutely. It's so great when these actors really are unrecognizable. Well, speaking of, I was going to say unrecognizable from one role to the other. It's a true chameleon. My situation is I'm still playing the same type of fun roles, varied in different projects, but which is fine too. Either way works. But I'm actually thinking about you in this movie, Hansel and Gretel, where you are. I mean, yes, you're recognizable, but it's in such a twisted kind of way. To me, that's really the sign of a great character actor, because I got to see the trailer of Hansel and Gretel, where you're just like, oh my God, you're so fucking creepy on that. Then we go to a comedy, a situation comedy like Victorious, where you're still considered creepy, but creepy for sitcom land. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you, Ralph. Well, yeah, Hansel and Gretel, you know, half of my face is kind of scarred and burned off in the movie, so it's well,
and in real life too, from what I can see.
Well, in real life, but we scarred the other side, so at least it's balanced now.
Symmetry. Okay, good.
Yeah, but before, listen, our first guest, Mike Tingle, is going to be coming up in just a second, Ralph. But before, everybody loves it every week when we do a sort of a fashion cam of what you're wearing. So do you mind giving the listeners just a little take on what you have on today?
Oh, well, sure. Well, today I just kind of toned it down because, I just rushed here to the studio. So I'm wearing tonight just basic camouflage shorts, with some white thongs on and a white T-shirt, but with a splash of orange in the middle.
Now, and for listeners, when he says thongs, he means shoes, not underwear.
Right.
But because with your crazy ass, you could be promoting a white thong under there. And again, that's
my
so
cock
gay.
is so huge,
keep the gay
it can barely
shit
fit
over.
into a...
Keep the gay stuff right on that side of the table. See the line,
Ralph,
right here?
Gay, so you've already been infected, as it were.
Yeah, so there's the
out.
gay side, and this is the ambiguous side over here.
But
right?
both sides drink coffee, so whatever.
Well, listen, everyone, let's get right to it, because I think we have our very first guest. As I mentioned to you earlier in the intro, we're so happy for our Pop Culture Friday to have an angelologist joining us to talk about his whole adventures with Charlie's Angels and his new books coming up. Please, everyone, welcome to the show. Could this be Mike Tingle?
Of course it is.
Hey, how are you, buddy?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, down, everybody. Down. Oh, jeez.
Right. Easy. Welcome, Mike. Say hi to my co-host, Ralph Cole Jr.
Hi, Ralph Cole Jr. I hear you have a very large
welcome to our show. What a treat to have you.
It's a treat to
be
here.
And when I say have you, I mean that.
Oh.
Well, we'll have to talk about that later.
Right. Hey. Mike, we haven't even gotten to the professional side, and we're already pimping you out. But that's okay, too, because...
Hey, thanks for the job.
You know what? We can be a dating service. I mean, it's happened before. Well, listen, buddy, first of all, it's so great to reconnect with you. Mike and I used to go to the same restaurant all the time. Here's what I love about this business. What I really love is when you're old and haggard like I am, and you stay in the game long enough, I get very excited when I see people that I met early on in my career that had a passion, that were very focused, knew exactly what they were doing. And Mike you were always one of those guys. And when, from the time I met you, you had this passion for Charlie's Angels and pop culture.
Yeah, I did. And, God, I had never outgrown it, have I?
No, and poo-poo, you never should, because you've got this amazing career from it. And, I mean, I know you've told the stories 100 times, but just for our listeners, I'm always, because we talk about the journey on the show, On the Set with Jasper Cole, so I'm always fascinated, like, how this journey began, just even your journey, quote, to Hollywood, because you are an actor as well, like we are. And I'm always fascinated by how you got, what brought you here, and, of course, when did this whole passion for Charlie's Angels start?
Oh, well, Charlie's Angels started a very long time ago when I was a small child.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, you were. Yeah, you were.
Do you have a frog in your throat, Mike? Would you like some tea?
Oh, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. What a hospitality. That was awesome for me.
It's green tea. We're all about herbal here.
Herbal.
Yeah, Ralph,
herbal
he's on the phone, remember? Go ahead.
Okay, go on.
I watched the show when I was a kid, and it became my favorite show, Charlie's Angels. And I'm a child of the 70s, and I grew up collecting this stuff and collecting Charlie's Angels. And when I got about 14, my parents said, you should throw that stuff away, grow as a young man. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I did. And to their chagrin, I've become like a Charlie's Angels collectible, Charlie's Angels guy. But before that, I went to college at American University. I was doing theater and
theater, darling.
Exactly, doing a lot of TV and movie there too. And literally, I was at the set of A Few Good Men. That's how many years ago? How young I am in this
wow.
business. And I was doing a stand-in role, and I got in my car and I drove out to LA to become a huge star. And that's gone. I'm an overnight success, but
well, aren't we all? Thank you.
Yeah, that's all still working. I saw your new trailer too. That looks like an awesome film. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
And plus, you worked with Dee Wallace-Stone. I mean, she's
kind of a pop icon, isn't she? That's right. That's true.
She's amazing. I've met her a couple times, and she's just a heart of gold and a beautiful person. But anyway. So here's my question too is, looking back now, because likewise, I mean, I really loved Charlie's Angels at the time also, and but can you say there was something about the show? Did you like Aaron Spelling shows in general? I mean, was this just something about these particular actresses? Was it more about the actresses? Well, I think a lot of it for me was just the show was fun. It was high adventure. It was the actresses. I didn't want to sleep with them. I did want to go out and, shopping and hang out and have wine with them.
Exactly.
Well, Mike, this is a hard question, a difficult question to ask, but can you say which was your favorite angel, or is that just too hard a question?
No, it was Cheryl Ladd.
Oh, wow.
My favorite angel. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
When I worked with Farrah, she gave me a lot of grief for that. And she was.
Oh, she did. Well, I wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to talk about that because at some point along the journey, you became an assistant to Farrah, right?
Yep, I sure did. That was in 2005, the late 2005, and I was there until 2007. I was with her cancer, and
oh, wow.
So during that time when I first started with her, she would introduce me to her friends, and people were kind of wary because I was quite known as the Charlie's Angels guy already. I was on charliesangels.com. I did the newsletter. I had already had shopped my first book around, hadn't gotten published yet, and so people knew me. I mean, I'd been in magazines and TV, so they were kind of wary that creepy fan is going to be their friend's assistant, right?
Right.
So we would be in the room. She's like, "Hi, this is Mike," and then she'd go in her sweet southern little voice. She'd go, "Mike, who's your favorite angel?" And I would look at her. I'd go, "Chris Monroe, Cheryl Ladd." She goes, "See, he doesn't even like me." Well, that's perfect because that took away any stalkerism that anybody thought you had, right? Because they're like, well, why would he not say her character? Yeah.
And then I would look at her and I'd say, "You're a really great actor. I really loved your other work," and she'd just roll her eyes. So,
well, you are being honest. I mean, great work came after Charlie's Angels, so you're just being honest.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Charlie's Angels for her was also. I mean, Charlie's Angels for all the girls in the beginning was just a skyrocketed, just went to the moon, and I mean, the whole world took one look at that show and were famous around the world. They were rock stars. They were, as Jacqueline Smith said, they never had to stand in line again for anything. And they were inspirations for women because they were doing what men were doing.
Right.
Men were watching them for, of course, jiggle TV.
Right.
Little boys were watching it for, that explosion, and little girls were seeing some women who they could actually aspire to be.
Wow.
And it was a show for everyone, and they, everybody watched it, everyone loved it, and it was fun. It was fun and adventure, and women in little bikinis or great fashion, and they always had guns, and they were always they were always in a jeopardy, and they were always getting out of the jeopardy, and it was just I thought was really the funnest part of the show was these three really smart women who were detectives could never find Charlie. I'm like, really?
Right.
Come on, people, let's go.
Exactly.
Right. It's interesting, Mike, because when hearing you talk, it's almost as if Charlie's Angels was a precursor for so many of these 1-hour crime shows featuring very strong women.
Well, it was groundbreaking.
It was groundbreaking, yeah. Because there was no women. Women at that day were, the biggest ones were like Maude, Maude, Mary Tyler Moore. But the women at that point had not broken into or out of the stereotypes of getting out of the kitchen and being just the wife or the prostitute or, the hooker which they were playing up to the point, especially the Angels. Those were the roles they were playing before they became Charlie's Angels. And Charlie's Angels just kicked down that door or broke down that, the ceiling of these three women who are now on TV in a male-dominated world, and they were the number one television show. I mean, so it was not only were actresses paving the way for actors coming up, but they were also paving the of women being starring roles and starring their own shows, and that show did so much, and I don't think it gets the acknowledgement as it really should, because it definitely broke a lot of.
It was really groundbreaking. For everyone that's just tuning in, you're listening to our wonderful guest, actor and author Mike Pingle. He's the author of Channel Surfing Charlie's Angels, and the book is available on Amazon and at bookstores, but also you can go to MikePingle.com, right, Mike, and everything's on your website?
Yeah, everything's on that website, or you can go to Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels
is my other website, and there's links to everything I do.
And
so come find me.
And so this is kind of a relaunch because you're of the original book, the Q or the Queer Guide to Charlie's Angels, which was released in 2008.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the Queer Guide was through Allison Books, and in 2009 they, for some reason, stopped publishing books, and they announced that they weren't publishing any more books, and they also mentioned in that press release that the writers can come back and get their books, and I was like, I want my. Especially
you were
Wonder
like,
Woman.
I'm there. The truck is at the door.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was out and already had sold out, but they hadn't republished it, and people were like clamoring for that book. I only have one copy of it myself.
Wow.
And so, basically, I had to get my lawyer. Even after they said that they would just get the rights back, I had to get my lawyer, and all that fun jazz happened. And so finally, I got it back, and it's only proper that it came out in September, because that's when Charlie's Angels premiered on TV, and also the new Charlie's Angels DVD complete set came out, which I also worked on with all 5 seasons. And so you can go down to Target or Amazon.com, or you go to my website and buy the whole complete series for $50, and you just have hours of jiggle TV and enjoy all the time.
And just it's got something for the gays, for the straights, for the lesbians, everybody. There's a little bit for everybody. Ralph, you would love it. You could pretend.
Exactly.
Ralph, I'm trying to figure out, of the Angels, which one you would have been. Probably Shelley Hack. I don't know.
Oh. No. I don't think so. Shelley was much more of a wallflower. So
that's true.
I would think more maybe Tanya Roberts.
Right.
More
diva.
Thank you, Mike. Well, I wanted to bring this up. Did you ever get to work with Susan St. James? Because she was like a precursor to Charlie's Angels being on McMillan and Wife.
Absolutely. No, I've not had the pleasure of meeting her, but yes, she was. But also there she was working with McMillan. There was always even Policewoman had all those men around her too. So
Right, I see what you're saying. So Charlie's Angels was really the first one. Since they couldn't find Charlie, it really was about the three women.
Yeah, well, and Bosley wasn't really helping out that much. So
because even with Bosley, he was a supporting to them, but they were actually they sort of paved the way for Cagney and Lacey also, which was a much different.
They during the cases they would make their own decisions. They didn't have to really turn to Charlie. And later on in the show, in the beginning shows, Charlie kind of gave them more direction, but later on in the series, the writers gave the actresses or the characters made their own decisions, and they took them forward. They didn't have to call in anymore. So.
Well, also, what's amazing for any of the younger listeners who weren't familiar at the time, literally Farrah Fawcett, her whole career in one season of Charlie's Angels, she skyrocketed with the posters and everything. It was Suzanne Summers wasn't as big, but it's almost like what Chrissy happened on Three's Company.
Yeah, Sarah. A poster actually, the red bathing suit poster came out actually prior to Charlie's Angels, and she was on the cusp. She just exploded. She is I always see her as the icon of the 70s. She is the Marilyn Monroe of the 70s, and she embodies the hair, the smile, the all-American attitude that we believe of our of all American girls, and that's.
And at that time, she was married to Lee Majors, who was also a TV heartthrob at the time with the Bionic Man.
I have no idea what you're talking about. He was a heartthrob. What?
Well, I'm actually going to be doing a movie with him in a few months, so I'm looking forward to it on many levels.
Boomerang.
Yeah. By the way, Mike, that's whenever normally Ralph will bring something back to himself, and we call it a boomerang. But that time I took that one from him.
Well, no, but I've met Lee. Lee is the nicest man, and he is he has the most beautiful, pure, wonderful wife too, and I'm sure you'll meet her at the set. And they're just gems. I met them later on after Tanya Roberts and I were going to some screenings, and he was at many of them, and they are just the sweetest people. And anyway, you'll have a great time with them.
Well, yeah, because back in the day, I remember the whole Battle of the Network Stars and all those 70s shows that you'd have all those. Lee and Farrah and all the people would be on together. But now, jumping ahead, what did you think of the movies, the Charlie's Angels movies, and were they did they reach out to the actresses to be a part of those at all, and what was their take on that?
Well, I originally I was a consultant on the first film. Leonard Goldberg, who produced Charlie's Angels with Aaron Spelling, the TV show, brought me in, and I was in meetings with him and Amanda Goldberg, who produced the films, and then I was actually in a big meeting with Drew Barrymore and McGee, and we're talking about they wanted to bring me in and kind of look at the series and kind of get the feel of their outfits and what they did. So for me, it was a really cool point to be in there to do that kind of stuff. I also auditioned for the role of Natalie, or Cameron Diaz's boyfriend, which of course I did not get, but that was fun too. So that was fun. And then the second one was a little bit more high, like they became a little bit more like superheroes, which I kind of thought was kind of a weird way to go. But the films themselves were okay, but I didn't really like that they didn't have guns. That was something Drew had thought of, not having guns.
Right.
I just thought it was weird because they didn't have guns, but they could just jump over bullets flying at them. So
that's a little more like segueing over to Linda Carter and Wonder Woman. You know, that's a little more Wonder Woman-ish. And so you have also written a book about Linda Carter and Wonder Woman, which is, to me, is a very natural transition because she also was very iconic for a strong female character on television as well.
Yeah, she was, and she is, and she still today is our Wonder Woman. I've met Linda and interviewed her many, many, many times, and she is the sweetest and most wonderful person you could ever meet. And what I also loved about her was that how she's embraced Wonder Woman as a part of her life and a part of her who she is, because many times actors, when they do such huge roles, even as the Charlie's Angels, at some point move on and say, I don't want to talk about that, that's in the past. But with Linda, she's always embraced that because, you know, Wonder Woman's such a huge, strong, iconic character, even through the comic books and through feminism. She's just, you know, she is all-American. And that's what I really loved about Linda is how she, you know, she doesn't care. She loves when people come up and say, I love you as Wonder Woman, and, you know, and always wearing, people are always wearing the Wonder Woman outfit, and she always has a touchstone, and I still think today she could be Wonder Woman in the new movie when they do it.
They did a series. Didn't they try a pilot and a series last year or last season?
It was
I auditioned. I remember going in for the pilot for a part, something, you know, a bad guy. Boomerang.
Ow! That hit me.
Duck, here comes. But no, I just remember that didn't quite work out. That's the series.
Yeah, I saw the pilot. I like the girl who played. I can never pronounce her name. She was really. I thought she was gorgeous. I think the script there was issues with the script. They weren't very funny.
Right.
But yeah, it wasn't really funny. You know, David E. Kelley was working on it. I mean, I didn't think it was bad. It just needed to be tweaked and changed a little bit after the pilot I saw, and I just think that their Wonder Woman needed to be a little bit more nicer. There are just things that could have changed for it, which I think would have made the series. Although the series of Charlie's Angels in 2011 that came out, which was I did not like at all. I thought they went very dark. I thought they went really wrong with all the characters. I think the actresses were miscast. I don't think they were even having fun. And although I was at the TV watching it every Thursday for the new Charlie's Angels in 2011, hoping it would be great, and 15 minutes later I was throwing things at the television and going, how could you ruin my show?
Right, exactly.
But, yeah.
Well, I love the fact, too, and then that you've continued on with these powerful, you know, iconic women, that you also have a new book about Betty White. Betty White Rules the World, Ultimate Unauthorized Guide to Television's Grand Dame.
I know.
Yeah, and who bet? I mean, she really is the ultimate of all of them because she's a pioneer on every level.
A pioneer, and she was here when television began, which is kind of, when I would start writing the book, it was almost a year and a half ago, that was what amazed me most, is that she was here for some of the first television, transmissions. It was crazy to think that this woman who's been around for 90 years, who is still our American sweetheart, was here at the beginning of television. She was one of the first women producers ever. She had ideas for her own shows. She's had more Betty White shows. I think she's had 5 or 6 shows named Betty White. I don't know if there's anybody else who's had more shows named after themselves. She is just an amazing trooper, and hopefully people find this book. Today I just got the proof of the book. I just got back to this book from the publisher who was originally doing it, and I don't know really what happened with them, but this was supposed to have been out a year ago, and now it's just getting out, and I'm very excited about it. So,
well, it looks like, yeah, because I mean she's amazing, and like I remember hearing her interview recently where one of her early Betty White shows, she literally was on the air. I think she said live for 5 hours a day. Like she had to fill up like so many hours of live television.
Hollywood on television. It was 5 hours. I think it went to 6 hours. 6 days a week, 5 hours a day. Hollywood and television, and then she did the Betty White show. She had her own talk show right after that went, an hour every day. And then it was funny because Hollywood on television had ended, and then they were like, "Are you okay for doing, an hour show every day? Would that, would that stress you out?" And she was like, "I was just doing like 65 hours a week for a television show." So
she's like, "Wake me up when it's over, because I could do 10 hours if you want me to."
I think she does that now too. I mean, she's an amazing person.
Well, so Mike, what? I mean, you've got so much going on. What else is coming up in the future? Oh, I see that you've also. Well, God, first of all, listeners, Mike's bio and his bio goes on for 20 pages because he's got so much going on. And I know your website, MikePingle.com, will have everything. But what can we look for? We've got the Betty White book. What's coming up in the future? Hopefully more acting jobs.
Hopefully more acting jobs. I haven't. I've gotten close to some stuff. Nothing come through on that forefront, but you never know. I always find that whenever I say I'm leaving acting, that's when I get something. I'm like, what?
Always.
I do that every morning when I wake up.
Either that or book a trip and you're going away on a vacation, and you always get auditions and jobs.
Yeah, exactly. But Betty White is I'm going to be working on another, hopefully, book. There's a couple people have been asking me to do Bionic Woman, and I had started Buck Rogers in 23rd, whatever century he was in. So I'm working
Gerard.
Kind of working
Gil
on
Gerard,
those,
right? Connie Selleck.
Yeah. But right now it's trying to get the Betty White book. It's been a long time coming, and I'm very, very excited that it's almost out and people can enjoy it, hopefully. So.
Well, Mike, here's an example of a boomerang. I'm in a movie called All About Christmas Eve, which features Connie Selleck as well.
Oh, my God. Connie Selleck was on a Charlie's Angels, like a rip-off show. It was called Flying High. I think it was Flying High.
I remember. Were they stewardesses?
They were stewardesses undercover, and they would do things. Yeah, it was one of those shows that in 1978 they tried to recreate Charlie's Angels, which I find so funny. Is everyone tries to recreate Charlie's Angels and they just can't.
They can't do
and
it.
It's just a lot of it has to do with the actresses and just the camaraderie of them and who they were and
well,
how
Mike,
they
I think they should.
Our guests, our listeners, like to hear the yin and yang of situations. Was there any ever dissension on the set with the three of them or with any of the angels?
Well, that's hard to answer since I know them all very, very, very well. And I would, if I indulged that, Charlie would be calling me really bad names. So I can't really talk about that. Thank you very much for asking.
Okay.
Right. Well, listen, Mike. The time.
So obviously,
right.
the answer is yes. Thank you, Mike Tingle.
We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna end that on a positive note so that we don't get into idle gossip. But Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's great to reconnect with you. Everyone, check out MikePingle.com and look for Channel Surfing Charlie's Angels. His book about Wonder Woman, his upcoming book about Betty White, and all the future books. And have a great weekend, Mike, and please come back anytime, and I hope to bump into you on the street, literally.
Oh, absolutely. That's really great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
Michael, you were a treat. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Yeah! Thank you.
Ralph, that was great.
Excellent. God, we have the best guest on our show.
Well, listen, we are going to take our first break because when we come back, we're going to be joined by two-time Emmy nominee, the delicious, the talented, the gorgeous Alicia Minshew, Kendall Hart from All My Children. You are listening to On the Set with Jasper Cole. Please come back.
Stay tuned, Planet Eartha.
You're back on the set with Hollywood's bad guy, Jasper Cole. Here's Jasper Cole.
Well, howdy, and welcome back to On the Set with Jasper Cole. This is your host, Jasper Cole, coming to you live from Hollywood, California, right here on Melrose Avenue. And please give a shout-out to my way, way too gay sidekick, Mr. Ralph Cole, Jr.
Ralph. Welcome back.
Hi, Planet Eartha. Welcome back. Thank you, and staying tuned to us.
Thanks for the coffee, Ralph. I would have preferred a little more cream next time, but that's okay.
Oh, no, I was just about to say, I love this coffee that you got this week. It's good. Where'd you get this?
I got this at the donut shop where I go yum donut because I like what I call white trash coffee. You know, I'm not into the whole Starbucks. I'm not going to pay $5 for coffee that's so strong you just vomit after the first swallow.
Wow, this is really good. Thank you for treating me.
Well, listen, everybody, we are continuing our pop cultural show on this Friday night. We were honored to have our first guest, Mike Tingle, who joined us, was all about the 70s television shows, Charlie's Angels and Wonder Woman. And we are now saving the best for last because I am very honored that we are welcoming back a return guest. Fans know her from her 10-year run as Kendall on All My Children. She is the amazingly talented Miss Alicia Minshew. Hey, gorgeous.
Woohoo. Oh, my God.
Hi.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Wow, that is quite an introduction.
How about that? How are you?
Crowd.
Say hi to Ralph or he'll get all upset.
Ralph, I miss you.
Hi, Alicia. I miss you,
Hi,
too.
honey. I miss
you. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, you guys are gonna laugh your balls off. I'm kind of talking quietly because Willow is not asleep yet, and poor Richie's in there trying to get this child to sleep. Okay, so if all of a sudden you hear like a crazy, wild 2.5-year-old running in my room, that's why.
Well, that's what NyQuil's for. Have you not discovered
Believe
that?
me. Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm not ruling that out right now.
It's called Junior Benadryl.
Right. Basically, just drug your child and she'll go to sleep.
Okay, I love it. That's why we laughed so hard, Alicia, when I wrote you after you had sung. I love when you said you had sung to Willow, and it's like, was it Mary Had a Little Lamb?
No. I sing to her, oh, bring me a home. Oh, come on, Home on the Range. Home on the
Home on the Range. That's it. And you sang the fuck out of it too. I'm loving that.
Can I just tell you, I sing that to her almost every night, and now she knows the words. And my mom is like, of all the songs, Home on the Range.
I would think she would just fake sleep just so you wouldn't sing to her.
I know for sure. She's not a Home on the Range. But
pretty
then,
soon she's just going to be like, one eye's half closed as she's looking at you like...
Anything to get Mom to stop singing these damn songs.
I mean, not to say that we know you can do musical theater, so we don't want to dispel that myth out there.
Well, not like you guys.
Now that you are back in the Big Apple, so everyone, New York City has just embraced Alicia back to her... Really, I mean, even though you grew up in Florida, New York was your home for many years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I lived here for 16 years before we moved out to LA. So definitely, I did a lot of growing up in New York. I feel very at home in New York.
There was a lot of growing up in quotation marks, right?
Oh, my God. Do you really want me to get into it?
Oh, it's internet radio. It's fine.
A single 20-year-old in New York City, use your imagination, okay?
Right.
It was the most fun time of my whole entire life.
I moved to New York when I was 21, Alicia, so I know what you mean.
Wait a second. Boomerang, duck, Alicia. There it comes. Go ahead, Ralph.
Oh, damn. Oh.
Go ahead.
I'm ducking. Go. No. You moved there when you were 21, too. Yeah, see? You know what it's like. You have anything and everything you want at any time. In fact, right now, let's see, it's 9:50. If I wanted, to buy a pizza and some crack, I could. And
we are so on the same. Well, first of all, you would not eat the pizza, but you would have the crack, and that's
right.
What's important.
Exactly. That's I have now that I'm a mother, I really know what's important. So
yes, of course. I mean, we have to be camera ready at all times, and that's what crystal meth is for.
That's exactly right. That's how the three of us are so lean, right? It's just
that and many trips to the bathroom. Allegedly, I'm just saying, whatever.
I'm just saying,
let the haters hate. You know what I mean? Let them hate.
And you know what? Someone's going to listen to me like, I knew Alicia threw up. I knew it.
I love it. How How's Richie doing, Alicia?
Oh, he's great. He's got like his 3-burger places here, and he's got his restaurant Prohibition, and all of the restaurants are going strong, and they're so happy to have him back. And it was like he had a 2-year vacation when he was in LA when I was on All My Children. So now,
oh great!
And he would make many trips back and forth also.
Yeah, he was flying back and forth, and this is really one of the main reasons why we moved back here was his businesses really needed him. So, we came back, and it was definitely the right choice for now. We're really, really happy here. I mean, I'm looking out the window. I wish you guys could see. My view is ridiculous at night. It's gorgeous. I have the whole skyline in front of me. I can see the hookers on the street. It's great.
Thank God.
I know.
Well, because you always know, and we've talked about this, you've always got a place to go in case nothing else works out. You can go right down to the corner, right there.
Right, yeah. I mean, I can go right back to my old post.
Right.
And, it's good to go. And actually, some of them are transvestites, and, they're
well,
Ralph
Ralph would fit right in on.
Oh my God!
Yeah, Ralph has been known to play a transsexual.
Well, Alicia, when I did that Acme show, I had a right to and go. When I watched your show, your stomach was so gloriously flat in that dress.
Oh my God! It's so funny.
That when I did mine, I just made sure my stomach was sucked in.
Wait, were you dressed like a woman?
Oh no, I did it as a man.
Oh, Ralph, I was there. I thought you were a man. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. You were great, Ralph.
Thanks.
I'm so sad I missed that. I'm so sad I missed that. Yeah, well, I bet you didn't say balls as many times as I did.
I know, you were so funny, though. But we were playing different characters, so it was totally acceptable for you, Alicia. Now, this is something the fans would like to know. Now that it's post All My Children, you're actually living back in the city. Do you get recognized on a daily basis, or are there times when you really can remain anonymous?
It depends on where I am. It's funny, of all places, if I'm in the gym with, no makeup on, looking just like a sweaty little piglet, that's when I always get recognized. Always. Isn't it the funniest thing?
Right.
But it's very random. Very often at the airport is where it happens the most, and it happens as much as it did when I was on the show. But fans are always really cool and really gracious and really lovely. Like they always say just how much they miss the show and they miss me and they miss the others. I would say the recognition's about the same as it was when I was on the show. And they're just, it depends on where I go. Some days no one recognized me at all, but then I go into an airport and there's a whole group of people there.
And probably too, if you go to Times Square, if you're in a real tourist area too, where there's a lot of tourists.
Exactly. Yeah. If I go to see a Broadway show, by the way, we just went to see Louis Black. Do you know Louis Black, the comedian?
I love Louis Black. I want to see him.
Genius.
Was it fabulous?
You guys, he's only on Broadway for a limited time. We just saw his show. I laughed so hard I almost cried. He's so irreverent and so angry and so right about everything.
And he's all about politics also.
Yes.
He's a lot of political.
You guys, everything he said is what people think but never say. He was so hilarious. But anyway, so there's a lot of tourists at that show. And when I was walking into the theater, there were a lot of people, Kendall, it's so nice to see you. Oh, we missed the show. So it's kind of the same as it was. Like you said, if there's a lot of people from different areas of the country, that's kind of when I get a medley of fans. And they're so nice. They're the nicest. They just have such...
Well, speaking of, we have to give a shout-out to Betsy Anderson, by the way, because Betsy is a super fan. Hi, Betsy. And she came to your, I met her at your Acme show.
Yes, Betsy is so sweet. Hi, Bets.
Hey, Betsy. God, that's such great support. Love that.
Well, she Facebooked tonight that she was not going to be able to listen to this live, but she was going to listen to the podcast later.
Oh, she's so sweet.
In the weekend.
She drove up with Heidi, and Heidi, I know you're probably listening. And they're just great. There's a great group of girls that I've got to know.
Too, aren't they?
Yeah, we're all, we're pretty much all whores together. So
I was going to say, Alicia is the daughter of a minister. So the first time I met Alicia at lunch, within really the first 30 minutes, I'd already called her a bulimic and a whore. So I kind of figured we had
that we would have a wonderful relationship, because the moment she said her dad was a minister, I said you crawled out the windows a lot, didn't you?
Oh my God! And this is where my mouth comes from. And I swear to you, I did crawl out my window a lot. When I was 15, I had a little window that the boys used to knock me to throw like little rocks on it, and I would I ripped the screen out, and I would sneak out my window. I mean, my parents laugh about it now. They laugh about it, but you're preaching.
Well, they always say. I mean, it was so funny because it was always like I'm not a parent, but now as a parent, I mean, it's like the thing the more strict you are, and the things you tell your kids, don't do this, don't do that. I think it makes them want to just do it more. I always figured if I had kids, I would have just been like, do crack if you want. Here's a gun, shoot it. I mean, all this, because then they're not going to want to do it because you want them to. They're not going to want to do it. Exactly.
No, I've already decided that I'm just going to let Willow do whatever in the hell she wants, and I'm going to say, listen, girlfriend, I know what you're doing because I did it all.
It all. You're not going to get anything past Mama here.
But she probably will because she's so damn smart.
It's always payback, right?
I've been tweeting about that lately. Like, she's just giving me a run for my money. She's about to turn 3, and she's just got a very strong opinion. God bless her. No one will bully her. She will probably be the bully.
Today is Anti-Bully Day.
I know it is. I'm wearing my purple sweater. Are you guys wearing purple?
I'm wearing purple shirt right now. Look, Ralph.
I know. Well, I can see it, Jasper. It's fine.
Well, you're so old and blind. I can't tell. Ralph's wearing some funky glasses tonight, though. You don't usually wear
it's funny that Jasper is even wearing a color, Alicia, because he only wears black.
I wear black or white. That seems to be it.
That's it. No, but I heard that Jasper likes to have his shirt off sometimes during the show as well.
Well, Ralph does have blackmail material on his phone from one of our shows.
Because it's so funny because when we were at Global Voice, Alicia, and we did our top 10, and Jasper was dancing while we were doing it, and I was like, oh my God, look at Hollywood's bad.
But he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me he was taping anything. So
I need to see that. ASAP.
Yeah, we'll post that. Hey, Ralph, we should post that on the new website for the radio show now that we have one.
That would be so funny because, it's like, especially with his appearance in Hansel and Gretel, that combined with him dancing is hilarious.
I must see both, right now. So when I hang up with you guys, that's it.
Well, listen, since it's really not about us, it's about Alicia, let's talk about your film, Desires of the Heart, which you just completed in Savannah, Georgia.
I did. And I tell you, you warned me that it was going to be hot. Woo. My God. It was like wowzers. But
it was humid also, right?
It was hot and humid, and anybody who knows me knows I was freaked out about my hair, being like a big fuzzball, which it kind of was, and that's why they put me in hats the whole time. But actually, it was probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been.
It is.
It's so beautiful there. And they're actually, we wrapped 4 days, as you know, right before I moved to New York. So I was there for 2 weeks. I played opposite Val Lauren, who is just this gorgeous, wonderful, great actor. He's such a good actor. And we pretty much, it's a love story, and we just had such a great time together. We did a lot of improv and a lot of ad-libbing, and we just played so well off of each other. I wish it was actually longer because I really loved working with him. And we shot there for 2 weeks, did some fun stuff, and now they are actually shooting as we speak in India, right now. They've been shooting there for a week already.
And everyone listening, and Ralph, and for the actors listening as well, this is a great example. This project, we all get involved in projects or things come to us, and you kind of think, oh well, right, let's see if it ever happens. And I think how many years ago, Alicia?
So Lyra, the producer, who I love this woman. She had a vision. She had watched all my children. She saw me and thought that I was right for the role, and this was her baby. This was something that she had written. I don't even know how long ago, but I would say she came to me maybe 5 years ago.
That's right, something like that.
Something crazy like that. And so I've had the script for a long time, and it was supposed to happen, and then it didn't. And then, no lie, the day all my children ended, I got a phone call. Mm-hmm. And it was her saying, we're doing this film. I'd love you to play the role. are you available? And I'm like, well, you know what? Actually, I am.
Well, and it's another testament. It's a testament, too, that we, people always say, well, there's a certain stigma about this genre or that genre. The bottom line is we never know who's seeing our work at any given time.
That's just it. It happened to a few different people on our show. God, of course, I can't think of anybody right now. I think it even happened to Josh Jamel when Josh played Leo on All My Children. They saw him, and then he did the movie. I think Win a Date with Pat Hamilton.
Yes, the comedy, right?
Yes, and then he did Las Vegas, and I remember him telling the story of how somebody saw him on All My Children, and boom, he, got this great career, and you just never know who's watching, and so that's why whenever I was at work, I was like, we have to do the best we can to make this as real as we possibly can and mean as much as we possibly can make it mean, and I had so much fun on that show, so I just.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, and here it is now. You're the female co-lead in this film, opposite Val, and it's a great script. It's beautiful. It's going to be beautifully shot. All the footage in India, and
if nothing else, it'll look pretty. I mean, maybe not me, but the trees will look pretty.
Oh no. I mean, it's going to be a great project, and I was just most impressed that it came together and it actually happened.
Right, because you know how indie films, no matter how great the script is, with the funding and the location and actor schedules and traveling, like it can very easily fall apart. But I tell you, they were organized, and it was James Kickletter directed it, and he's a young up and coming director who's in India right now, and he's been like tweeting me pictures of them on set, and I'm so impressed with the way everything has happened, and just what a great experience for me to get to work with a great actor and a great crew and go to Savannah, and it was like my first time leaving my child, and I actually did fantastic.
Well, and on top of that, you mentioned all the listeners, you did this while at the same time you had like 3 days to pack your entire life and move to New York. So.
Oh, yeah. It was I was an utter stress case before the film. Then once I got there, I relaxed and I just enjoyed every minute. Then when I came back, I was like, oh, God, help me. We had to literally pack up the house and then move. That part kind of sucked.
Listen, to anyone joining us right now, we are being joined by the amazingly talented Alicia Minshew from All My Children and the new film Desires of the Heart. And you can also go onto her website, AliciaMinshew.com. That's an easy one to find.
That's easy.
Alicia, I need to mention to you, we just got a tweet from Minted Royalty. He's a wonderful supporter of our show on the East Coast, and he just wrote in, Alicia is a scream. I love her.
Aw, I love him. Yay.
Well, that's the thing.
We want nothing.
The thing that people have to understand, Alicia is hilarious, and so we're putting out this energy that she's going to be on a sitcom, and that's our
putting
mantra.
It out there.
Yeah.
We're putting it out there. It's out there. It's a sitcom or a cable show that is really raunchy and hilarious.
Where she can be her real vulgar self.
That Acme show was really great for you, too, because you were hilarious in that. And
thank you. I was a little over the top, I must say. A lot over the top.
It was great, Alicia, because you were so Kindle Heart for so many years, and all of that represented. So we did have a locked image of you, and when you step out of that, that's why Jasper calls actors unrecognizable in certain parts, and that's what makes you great. Even though you're an ingenue, what makes you a great character actress, because you were friggin' hilarious in a way that fans had not gotten to see you. That didn't happen in Pine Valley for Kendall.
No, I did not get to talk about people's balls and
well, but you did. See that what people don't understand. It happened in Pine Valley, but it happened in the dressing rooms and in the hallways.
Basically, what you saw in Acme, I did in my dressing room. Every other Friday. So,
right.
Right. But, Ralph, thank you for saying that. That's so sweet. I'm so sorry I missed your show. I'm sure you were genius, as usual.
Oh, well, Bob, thank you for saying that. But, as you know, like with yours, it'll be archived on YouTube at some point, so then you'll be able to sit back and just laugh.
ooh, I'm going to watch you. I'm going to watch Jasper dancing, and I'm going to watch Ralph doing his thing.
I love it. I have got to send you that. Okay, Minted Royalty just wrote back. I would love to see Alicia on a sitcom. She would be perfect for a new show. Listen to that, Ryan Murphy.
I love it.
They're listening to our show.
That would be great. And also, fans, of course, I'm a night owl, and I flip on SoapNet, and I'm getting to watch you in the evenings on SoapNet. Last night you had a great hat on, and you were fleeing in the car with Thorsten, and you were
Somebody tweeted that picture to me. Somebody tweeted that picture to me. I was in the car with Thorsten. I was wearing a hat. We were chasing Rebecca Buddig's character because she was on a motorcycle.
She was in a wedding dress. I think she was fleeing a wedding or something.
This is coming back to Ash. I'm sorry, I have to laugh because this is when her character dies, and she gets run off a cliff by me, I think.
and she's in a wedding dress on a motorcycle.
Oh, my God, I know. There was like a recent scene where somebody tweeted me. They were saying, you're waking up from your coma. And I was like, oh, my God, they're playing the coma. I mean, this was like, I don't know, like 5 years ago, something crazy. But I remember those scenes like it was yesterday. And I love that they are re-airing it because people get to sort of relive it again.
And you'll get your 60 cents for it, which is great.
And I can't wait to run to the mailbox and get my big fat residual check. But God bless SoapNet, right? God bless
But what was
SoapNet
great, too, is you had this whole Sherlock Holmes fashion thing going on. It was a really great, like, London. I could see you in London.
I know. I remember the hat. It was great. I know exactly the hat.
I want to say it was tweed. You had a tweed jacket and the whole thing going on.
A tweed jacket with boots and a hat because I was on a mission, and I don't remember what that was. I was pissed off, and then I ran my friend off the road. That's pretty much how it went.
I loved it.
We just remind Planet Eartha that Hollywood's fiercely bad guy is sitting at home watching SoapNet.
Well, of course, because I have to, the radio part of me has to keep up with my guests, and I have to know what's happening. And then, like you, Ralph, I actually do research before someone actually shows up. But that's okay.
Oh, my God. Alicia, that's just a big joke because I do all the research.
He does. That's true.
I'm the clerical one of the two of us.
You do the research.
Because Jasper doesn't act fun except show up with a cup of coffee.
Well, that's okay.
Oh, wait. No, doesn't he show up and then you get his coffee? Isn't that how it goes?
He just did.
No, well, yes, that's true, but he always shows up with coffee first from his Yum Yum place. The thing tonight is he brought me coffee, but we have a coffee machine here, so I'm always making it during the show. That's why sometimes when you hear these shows and he's just going bat fucking crazy, it's like, okay, enough coffee for you.
But, Ralph, I think I've been very tame tonight, don't you?
Tonight you have been. I don't know if you've heard last week's shows, Alicia. It was almost like I'm actually getting a little scared now, and I'm sitting right.
No way. Oh, I wish I could have heard that. Now, is it because Jasper was just cursing up a storm or just, like, completely...
Oh, my God. He was just irreverent and just lashing into people.
I think he's upset because I said I would fuck Oprah on a pile of money on the bed or something like that.
My God.
I may have made some references.
I talked about my penis size tonight because I thought, you know what? I'm just, because, I'm on this list now for having one of the biggest penises in Hollywood. I don't know if you heard that earlier.
No, I have not heard that. Is that a real list?
I think, should we call Jessica, should we get in touch with Jessica Katz on that one and get that out or find out where that came from?
And make sure that you're on the list of big cocks.
Because I told him earlier, Liam Neeson is on that list, but I don't recall Ralph Cole Jr. being on there.
Wait, who did you say is on the list?
Liam Neeson apparently is on there.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Or as Regis Philbin used to say, Liam Neeson. That was Regis's Irish accent.
Okay, you just frightened me, by the way, because I thought you said that Regis is on that list. It's just not.
Well, why don't you ask your good friend Kelly Ripa? She might know. Oh.
Yeah.
We know how she got the job. Okay, Kelly, work it out.
Oh, God.
Kelly made sure she had a big strapping black man as her co-host.
Alicia, do you watch Dancing with the Stars?
I have not. Okay, listen. My evenings are spent trying to get Willow to sleep, praying to the gods that she goes to sleep. However, this past week I did get a little glimpse at a few people dancing, and I was totally impressed by Kelly Monaco. I thought she was just, stunning.
When are they going to get some stars, though?
Oh, snap. I heard that.
They're calling this one the All-Stars, and I was like, well, we've been waiting on a star, but this is coming from Hollywood's D-list bad guy, so what can I say?
What can you say? Well, was it all the winners? Is that who they chose? Did they choose all the winners?
Some of them were winners and some were not, but they were just fan favorites, I guess, or people that did well. Yeah.
People that did well.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I have not kept up with it. In the past I had because Cameron was on and Susan Lucci was on, and Aiden
Martina,
was on.
What's the guy from All My Children?
Oh, of course.
JR.
Of course, JR. He just won. I mean, he's like one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Genius, yeah. So I would watch and, of course, vote and keep up with my pals. But, I've been sort of in mommy mode at night lately. Seriously, it's funny. As we're talking about penises, Richie just walked in to tell me that Willow finally fell asleep.
Oh, good. Is he naked?
He's not, but
basically, he's telling you to get off the phone, and it's time.
Because she's asleep. Yeah, he walked in shaking his head going, Jesus, meaning it took forever to get this kid to sleep.
It's kind of like if you were watching the Kardashians and he would just turn and walk out and shake his head.
Walk in, walk out, shake his head, not sure what he just saw, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, now listen, everyone, Alicia is now on.
I had so much fun with you when the three of us had lunch together with our publicist, Jessica Katz, and Melanie.
We did have fun. Oh, that's right. Jasper wasn't there. I think he was. Were you in the bathroom vomiting? Is that where you
was?
I was vomiting. I think I was. I came up with some reason not to be there. But we do want to give a shout out to Jessica Katz, publicist extraordinaire.
Yes, we do. We love her. And
listen, everybody. Alicia is now in the social media world, so everyone can follow you on Twitter, of course.
Oh yeah. I tweet the hell out of my twat. I mean, I really.
Wow.
I love being on Twitter. Okay.
Now, is it just at Alicia Minshew?
It's actually it's at Alicia_Minshew.
Okay,
I had to learn what that was. Alicia_Minshew. And thank you guys for talking me into it because I fought it for so long and thought I wasn't going to be able to keep up with it, but now I love it, and I love talking to people on Twitter, and I love to tweet fun little things.
Isn't it great? And the fans have
because of Twitter. When I saw that you were singing "Home on the Range" to Willow, when I told you I have to come over and when I'm in New York, come over and sing Negro spirituals to her.
No, that I fell over. I laughed. It takes a lot to get me to laugh out loud. I laughed out loud, fell off my chair, laughed. That was one of the funniest things.
I love it, Alicia.
I get this little tweet from Ralph that he's going to come and sing Negro spirituals.
Well, I think better yet, since he is the help, Ralph, I'd like for you to show up there in your maid outfit with a little hat on, like Viola Davis did in The Help, if you don't mind.
Right, with the fried chicken to boot. I don't care. I'll play.
I don't care, and bring watermelon and barbecue if you have to, if you want to keep the whole stereotype going. Put a kerchief on your head and say, I don't know nothing about birth and no babies, and you're good to go.
Oh, my God. I can't.
Well, on that note, Alicia, we're going to let you go. We can't thank you enough for calling in. I know all your fans are thrilled to hear from you, as we are.
Oh, I'm so happy, you guys. I could do this with you guys. Like, I love hanging with you guys. You guys are like.
Well, you can call in. You can co-host. You can do it anytime you want. You're welcome on this show for sure.
I love it. I got to start listening to you guys because you guys are like two hilarious peas in a pod. You guys just play off each other. It's so great. I love it.
Alicia, thank you for your time. Give Willow a big squeeze for us.
And say hi to Richie.
I will squeeze her, but I'm not squeezing her now because she's sleeping. Thank God.
What Ralph really wanted to say was give Richie a squeeze, but you can just tell Richie.
I will give him a squeeze, and I will tear his clothes off when I see him, and I will squeeze his ass. I will say that's from you, Ralph.
Okay,
and,
thank you. Can you imagine how excited your fans are to hear you saying all this right now, Alicia?
Oh, really? Oh,
and be sure have a little Diet Coke before you go to bed. Keep it have a little Diet Coke or something going to keep the stomach gurgling for us. You know.
Oh, right. So I can vomit for you guys.
Well, yeah. We are
Terrible.
we are pro bulimia on this show. There is nothing wrong with it. Whatever people feel they need to do, it's fine with me. Whatever keeps people happy. So,
guaranteed someone comes up to me and goes, are you really bulimic? Oh God, you shouldn't joke about that. Guaranteed. At least one person.
No, but I will tell you this, I'd rather be bulimic than fat.
And I will see you both in hell.
On that note, my dear, lots of love. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, guys. I miss you
Thank
both.
you.
Say hello to LA for me.
Hey, Marcus, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Well, I just wanted to. I did a double to save time. I did an out applause and an in applause all at the same time. So welcome to the show. That was the amazing Alicia Minshew, and we have segued, speaking of Negro minstrels, right over into rants with Marcus Redmond. I don't know if you heard, Ralph was talking about singing Negro
spirituals and large cocks is what I
and watermelon and all that stuff. So I thought that was the best segue to talk about politics and our African American president and the debates and all that good stuff.
Well, I don't know about all that. It was perfect time to bring me in, but yeah, we could throw some politics in there too.
Okay, really, Marcus. Well, listen, before we even start on the politics, you're absolutely right. Planet Earth. Marcus Redmond and I just had the pleasure of attending our K11
this is a double
screening.
boomerang. Hold on. Woo. Go ahead.
Okay. Marcus Redmond and I star in a movie called K11, directed by Jules Stewart, and we had the pleasure of having a screening of the film at Creative Artists Agency here in Hollywood in Century City, and Marcus and I had a wonderful time. And because Marcus represents the political aspect of our show, I wanted to let everyone know that I had the distinct honor of getting to shake hands with our mayor, Antonio Villaraigosa, who very much enjoyed our film, and we're very proud of it.
Okay, what's so distinct about his ass?
Okay, Jasper, you need to understand something.
No, I want people to understand that only in Hollywood would your mayor be repped by CAA and have an agent.
Well, we're not saying he's repped by CAA.
He is. I looked it up.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
No, that I didn't know, but as it's all about show business. Okay, Jeff?
Well, that's what I thought was more. I thought it was great that because, you know, he's heavily criticized in L.A. anyway for being like a star fucker and wanting to always, you know, be a celebrity. So I love the fact that I heard that he was there, and then when I looked up that he was a client, I just thought, bingo, perfect. So,
but here's the thing. This is what saves him, though. The thing that saves him is the fact that Edward James Olmos was there.
Right.
And for all of you listeners out there who aren't familiar with Los Angeles and Hollywood and Mexican Americans within this field, Edward James Olmos is the king of the Mexicans.
He's also a fierce. I mean, I thought Hector Elizondo was, but I guess Hector is.
No. Hector, that's Jerry Marshall's boy. That's
right.
Hector Elizondo. Edward James Olmos is king of the Mexicans. If he says it, it is proclaimed to be Mexican.
And Danny Trejo would be the C version of that?
No, Danny Trejo is kind of like the Al Pacino. He's like the Tony Montana of Mexicans. Like you don't mess
because Danny's like 5'3", so
yeah, you don't want to mess with Danny. But you know, because of all of the stuff that Edward's done, and because his career is so, you know, fierce and so like widespread, but he's also like kept it down for he's the king of the Mexicans. So because he was there, that sort of negates the whole Hollywood thing of the mayor, because the mayor was in the he was in the presence of the king. So since the king was there, it was all good. And the king also loved the movie. So
well, who's the queen of the Mexicans?
There is no queen.
It's El Castillo.
Oh. I was trying to give a little plug to Kate Del Castillo, who I guess if you and Marcus are starring in K11, as Ralph said, I guess Kate is co-starring.
We're all okay, Jasper.
No,
yeah,
I'm just trying to keep it real because she's co-starring, right?
Well, you're going to be like that if you can ride the wave of fucking MacGruber 2 years later, and he can certainly be starring in K11. Work it out.
Exactly. I want everyone to know the movie has an amazing cast, and I think you're going to be surprised at just how gritty and gritty this film is when it got distribution. And do we know, is it coming out in 2013 or the end of this year?
It's 2013 is the talk that I am hearing, and that makes more sense because it gives us time to gear up. However, I have read that there might possibly be some limited screenings in theaters prior to for award season. Because of, I think, primarily Kate's performance and possibly Portia's performance, because they're so incredible. And I mean, really, this film, it's not an easy film to watch, but it's incredibly captivating. And when Kate comes on screen, she really does own the movie.
Oh, you're right. Portia Doubleday, to me, could get an Oscar nomination for
Yeah, Portia Doubleday is completely amazing. And I mean, everyone is being, you see them the way you've never seen them before, but Portia especially.
Especially Tiny Lister, too.
Well, yeah, because for the first time ever, Tiny Lister is playing a prisoner. So that's a big. That's a big
between
movie.
all of us, I think he does an amazing job, and I'm glad he got to play this part now because it'll help him further on later in life, I think. So good for him.
Well, yeah.
Go on, Tiny, with your bad self.
Mean, even though Tiny has played prisoners in the past, I mean, this particular role is something that you have never seen him do.
Isn't it funny how life imitates art, right? Because sometimes you play characters and you just don't ever know. Like, I could end up homeless one day, and I would say, wow, I played so many homeless people. It'd be like suddenly if I played a lot of prisoners and somehow just weirdly I ended up in prison, that would be like a strange thing. So
you would know what to do.
Right. And hopefully I would find my transsexual bitch that I could. Oh, wait, I have Ralph. I forgot. Okay.
Well, I am your beard, Jasper, after all.
You are my beard. Well, speaking of beards, what did you think of the debate this week? Because apparently, Obama needed to come out swinging and show that he could be an angry black man. And
here's the thing. I just watched it, so I'm fresh. It's fresh in my head. And I watched it with my wife and our 18-year-old, and the first comment anybody had was my wife, and that was about 5 minutes in, where she leaned forward, she pointed at the television, and she said, of Mitt Romney, he is so full of it. He talks and talks and talks, not one specific. He just repeats what anybody says to him, and then just continues to say it over and over again in different ways, and complains about the president and points out every single problem that we have and not one solution. He spends his entire time saying, I know how to get the economy working again, but he won't tell us how he gets the economy working again.
Exactly.
And that seemed to permeate the debate. And as I predicted on our show after the first debate, this time Obama came out to win. This time he wasn't just sort of like playing it close to the vest and playing it safe. He came out swinging. And I think when Mitt decided that it was cool to talk down to the President of the United States and got up in his face and got disrespectful and started asking him questions, which, A, was not what the debate was about.
Right.
Mitt himself wasn't answering the questions. He wasn't being forthcoming with the questions that were coming from the people that were there, the undecided voters that had put those questions. And so now he's going to get up. I mean, literally, it was like being in a schoolyard. I mean, it was literally like two dudes walking back and forth. I thought they were going to throw down at any minute. And listen, I understand it's a big fight, and but at the same time, that's the leader of the free world, dude.
I know. Really? Isn't it weird how Obama got criticized for the first debate that he was Mitt Romney got praised the first debate that he was so aggressive and interrupting and stuff like that. And then of course, if anybody else does, now Obama does it, and he's beating up on Romney. So it's like,
the thing in the first debate, I wouldn't fault Mitt Romney for how he acted in the first debate. He was behind. He was fighting for his campaign. He was fighting. That's his job. It's his job to talk about how shitty the president now is so that they vote for him. I get that. But when you get up, can you get up in somebody's fucking personal space?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that you get punched in the throat for doing that shit where I come from.
Well, what I love is big old Candy Crowley said, sit your ass down, and she just backed him up with the facts when, the big moment of the whole night was when she had to correct him and say that, you did that, it is in the transcript, and he did use the word terrorist. Right. But she was on The View, and what a lot of people didn't quite get is what she also said right after that, which no one heard because Romney and Obama was talking. She said, but in all honesty, your president, it did take you 14 days to say it.
Right.
So she actually gave props to Romney.
She didn't quite say it like that. She acquiesced to both Obama and Romney. She said yes.
But they showed on The View, they showed the clip where she actually says, but it did take you 14 days to say it.
Right.
And so the media picked up, thankfully for Democrats, they just picked up on the fact that she sort of, she was trying to say, look, I'm not, was not being one-sided. I did correct Romney with the fact.
Yeah, and Obama asked her to repeat that when she said that during the debate. So everybody
was. So right after she said it, Romney started talking, and you can't always hear it, but you can hear her say, but it did take you 14 days to say it.
Right. And of all which is exactly what she was supposed to do. She was the moderator. Of all the moderators, she's been the best one.
Oh, totally.
Because Jim was a fucking sap, and then who was the second girl?
I thought Martha Reddish was pretty good actually, but the vice president debate.
But the thing with Martha though is that it was very, very, very clear, and we talked about this on the show. It was very clear that Martha was
a Democrat.
Liberal. A Democrat.
Right.
So it's not fair. You know what I mean? She called Paul Ryan out on his shit, and Paul Ryan was putting out a whole lot of it. But at the same time, I think he was really very good at walking that line.
Well, guys, we're down to like 40 seconds. The show is completely running out tonight.
Okay,
so
Halle Berry is related to Sarah Palin and scene.
Oh my God! Well, good for Halle. She's got so much going on. God bless her. Listen, everybody, I thank you again for joining us, Marcus. We're going to talk next. We're off next week, but on November 2nd, we're going to talk all about Here and Now. Hopefully, have some great updates.
Nice.
Yes, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. You guys go out and have a great, safe weekend. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Best of next Friday, and back live on November 2nd. So, Marcus, Ralph, Mike Pingle, Alicia Minshew, thank you so much.
And Dara.
On the set with Jasper Cole. And Dara, we love you. Bye.
Don't miss a minute of On the Set with Jasper Cole. And get the inside scoop on everything going on behind the scenes in Hollywood.